my website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, exercises. I used to hate exercises. It's such a school word, isn't it? Or say, might as well call it torture. And I was like, why should I do stuff that I won't use in real life? Why should I do that, right? Because I'll never play that when I'm soloing. But, a couple of years went by where I was very opposed to exercises, but then it suddenly dawned on me because I just started developing exercises by myself without even thinking about it. And then I woke up to the fact that, whoa, you're doing exercises. So why was I suddenly doing exercises? Well, because you can take challenges and say, could I develop an exercise that just encapsulates the hardest part of this challenge or these challenges? And then by doing the exercise, I will become good at all of these things, right? Instead of practicing this and this and that and this, then you say, okay, what's common to all of these? What are the basic challenges of playing any of these things? And then you put them into an exercise, and then you grind on that exercise. You play it with the metronome, you practice it over and over again. And then when you start practicing all the other stuff, it's easy because you're focused on it, right? That's the only purpose of an exercise. So please remember that. That's the first take home from this video. That every time you do exercises, ask yourself, is this teaching me something that is central so I can go out into the world of guitar playing and licks and sequences afterwards, and then or chords or whatever it is, and then I'll be much better at that. Because if that is not the case, you're probably wasting your time. If the exercise is something that you wouldn't do, if it's not something you would do in a real playing situation, then you're just, doing exercises, right? So let me just give you a really cool exercise that I came up with. That because one of the main challenges of this instrument is that we tend to play in 3-note per string patterns, even though we're playing like K shapes where we have a single string with 2 notes only in each shape. We still have that tendency to not have that much space in between our notes. On a piano, you can basically say from the thumb to the pinky here, you can have an entire octave or even more. So it's more intuitive. It's easier to get the idea of going from here to there and then back then and then up there because it's all in one hand. But on a guitar, it's like, each string has 3 notes, and then we practice scales and we go up and down stuff like that, right? Over and over again in order to learn the scale shape. And then once we start playing, we naturally go, right? And that is kind of boring. So what do? You develop an exercise that has the only purpose, the only focus of breaking out of that pattern of going from one note to another, up and down the scale shape, up and down the staircase. And then you start forcing yourself to jump. But not only that, you play that exercise for so long, and you play it so much that it becomes more familiar almost than playing up and down the scale shape. Because if you only do an exercise and you do it like for 5 minutes each day, but you do 10 hours of playing up and down the scale shape, right, of the opposite pattern in your brain, then it won't do you any good because you won't move into it. And that's the analogy I often use, that if you want to know a part of the city, you don't just visit for an hour. You move into that part. You go grocery shopping and everything else in that area of the city. Once you've been living there for a year, you know that city like you can imagine the whole thing in your head. You know everywhere, and you know your apartment, and everything is mapped out because you moved in there. You spent enough time there to make it so familiar that the place you moved from, where you've been living for 10 years, are kind of not as familiar as what you're living in now, but you can still remember the entire place, the city, the everything, where the grocery shop is, and where your socks are, or used to be in the cupboards, in the closet, and everything, right? So you need to move into it, and you need to do an exercise for so long that it actually gives you the benefit of making it natural to jump, have more. right? And that's what this exercise is about. So do it and feel the difference and do it enough for you to actually break out of the patterns. So what is this exercise? It's really fun. This exercise is pure fun. You just put on a jam track or you play a chord in the background using your looper pedal. And I assume you have a looper pedal. If you don't, you're not serious about learning soloing. So if you are serious about learning solo and you don't have a looper pedal, go get one right now. This instant. Pause the video, buy one online, the cheapest one you can get, doesn't matter, as long as it can create a loop you can play up against. So, play anything. In this case, I'm just playing a C minor 7, and the only exercise here is to just play one note per string. That's all you can do. You need to create something that makes sense, right? Musical ideas, just use the minor pentatonic, and then only play one note per string. Right, that's the opposite of playing the 3-note per string, da 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 da, right? So let's try and do this. And if you do this enough, I promise you, you get a really cool result. So, right? And then I start, you know. Oh, 2 notes there. Right? It's fun, and what is that? You know, you start playing different stuff suddenly because of one silly little rule, right? You create a little rule, and then you're doing an exercise. Why is it an exercise? Because you're focusing on one thing, on only playing one note per string. Pretty quickly, you can go to the next step of this exercise and say, sometimes I can play 2 notes on one string. Not 3, but 2, right? And then but have it be 80% single strings and then, you know, only 20%. Then you might do a little bit of, so you mix it, you blend it, you merge it into your normal playing. Once you do that, and you still remember to play a lot of 1 note per string patterns, it starts merging into your playing, and suddenly you're out in the blue, in the open. You don't have to think about not playing, you know. You don't have to think of it because you've broken the pattern by using an exercise, right? So let's just try and do it again. That was fun. But let's sometimes use 2 notes per string, right? So again. Okay. That was just 2 notes there, right? 2 notes on the first one. And 2 notes on the last string. Right? And the cool thing is I have to use my first finger and then some other finger out here and then some finger here because, you know, otherwise I have to do rolls all the time. Like, 2 notes. Use the diatonic, the natural minor, blended with the minor pentatonic. Right? Then I can do something else as well, and then I'm gonna leave you to it. I can skip strings. So that will give me even more distance in between my notes. If I focus on, you know, having streaks of only 1 note per string, and then I even, you know, try to see if I can skip a string, and then have that be like 75, 80% of what I do, and then only the multiple notes per string be 20 to 25, then I'm opening up my playing in an amazing way. And this is an exercise where you can just put on a jam track, use your looper pedal, and then have fun. Just remember the focus, remember the focus. Don't slip back into doing whatever you're used to doing, right? Keep the focus for long enough for it to be a habit. And that might take a while if you've been playing very sequential stuff up and down the scale shapes. So you need to do this every day. So let's... All right, so let's see if we can skip some strings. It's really cool, really fun, and you make yourself play stuff that really inspires you, where you go, wow, that sounded pretty cool. So have fun with it. It's all you have to do. Just pick one scale shape, be very good. One chord, one scale shape. So you get used to playing in it and used to figuring out stuff that really sounds great. First level, only play one note per string. Second level, mix it once in a while with 2 notes per string. You might go to the natural minor as well and use that over your C minor chord here to get some extra notes. Next thing, try to skip strings even to get even more distance in between your notes, and then have fun improvising. Don't just play random stuff. See if you can play something that actually sounds cool. Look for the cool little lines there. And I promise you, if you do this every day, it's a fun little game, then you will open up your playing in the most amazing way. I should say that we have an exercise program out right now with 3 levels of exercises that will force your right hand to develop new patterns and break out of scale shape up and down playing. It's quite amazing and it's very effective. So go check that out. You can click the link just below this video, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and do all the other things that we know we should if we want to stay in close contact with this channel. So, see you tomorrow in the next video. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.